Hey there, this is Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist. And I'm just opening up this podcast with a joke for you guys. So, your mother's so fat that if she was actually in outer space, she would weigh something. Welcome, everybody, back to Not Rich, Just Bored, episode number 29. Oh, God. This one's going to be probably a late upload. It's probably going to be on the Friday, because it's already Thursday today, but work has kept me away. Because, so busy and blah, 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 and you got to work to survive, and it sucks ass. So let's leave it at that. But anyways, I've been working out of town. It's not so bad. It does kind of suck ass, but what's mostly sucked ass lately is just I don't know what it is, but my brother made one of those frozen pizzas a couple days ago. What is Giuseppe? It's not delivery, it's Giuseppe, and it I ate it like and you should do it. You shouldn't eat before bed, but I did because I was just like it was there and I was hungry, so I just had this fucking piece of pizza like. Okay, it was half a piece. Okay, it's half a pizza. Okay, you called me out on it. But I was like, whatever, I'll have it anyway. And then I ended up having it, and then I woke up at like 4 a.m. that day. I think this was like Tuesday or something. And then like, I could not go back to sleep after that. I woke up at 4 a.m. My stomach hurt so fucking bad. And it could have been the ranch, could have been the pizza. I don't know. Ranch does fuck me up sometimes, but either way, I was up since 4 a.m. I could not. I probably went to bed around 11:30, 12, because I'm not like I've been trying to get to bed decent hour, like 10 or 11, but I'm not like one of those go to sleep type of guys. I just can't usually, unless I really fucking worked hard. Like if I disc golfed 18 holes or something, then it is definitely easier if I do that. But like if I just do an average, an average day, I can't. I have to like watch a YouTube or something. I have to watch something. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Pawn Stars, and it's fucking awesome. And I love that show so much. I'm not big on like reality. It's not really a reality show, but it's you know what I mean. It's a real but not really real show. It's a real show, but it's obviously edited and there's dramatic effect added and shit. So either way, oh, I got to fart. Oh, I think I shit myself. That's disgusting. I need to have a fart button one day so I can just bleep out the farts. But yeah, I love Pawn Stars so much. I'd love to talk to one of those guys someday. And I want to go to that pawn shop when I'm in Vegas sometime. But anyway, so this Giuseppe pizza, yeah, I ate that, felt like shit, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I only got a few hours sleep, and I had to drive all the way to fucking Edmonton and back that day. I felt like a bag. I just felt like a bag of shit. I could not, it was about a 3 hour drive there and back, and I felt like I was gonna fall asleep because like when you puke because that morning I finally puked, so you always feel better when you finally puke. You're like, okay, just get it over with. But this one was being stubborn, and then I did that. But then so I was just fucking out of it, like so goddamn tired. And on top of that, my body hurt because I had vomited, so your body gets sore, and then And okay, that's a weird thing though. That's a really weird thing. Is that like how come when we're kids? I don't get this. I don't know when I transitioned, but in my early 20s even, I remember getting pissed, fucking blackout drunk. It didn't matter. I could be partying all night. You could get drunk as fuck, puke your goddamn guts out, and go to work the next day. You're fine. I don't not even sore. But now it's like you fucking puke from drinking or anything. You puke from being sick. You get a tummy ache. You throw up once, and your whole body is sore for like 2 days. And it's like, what are our is our body just made out of rubber when we're children? And not even just children, like small, 20s even. Because I'm not that old. I'm like, I'll be 32 this year, and I do not remember. I seriously, I do not remember. Uh, I don't remember ever puking in my 20s and like being sore the next day. Unless it was like a really fucking, like really bad where I puked several times from a flu or something. Then yeah, you get the body shakes and all that. But like if it's just like a food poisoning thing where it's like a one off where you just gotta get it out and then you're like, oh, okay, I feel a lot better. I've never had that kind of effect. But I guess I'm getting older, so body's starting to fucking betray me a little bit. But even right now, like I've had a weird thing today. The reason I brought that up was because yeah, I was big as shit that day, and then by the time I got home, fuck, I was almost damn near hallucinating. And then I literally texted everybody. I'm like, just leave me alone. Don't text me. Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. I'm like, I'm going inside. I'm putting my bag down. I'm putting my phone on the charger, and I'm laying down. Maybe watching YouTube. That's it. But I'm going to fuck to sleep because I was literally. I didn't even know where I was. I was like when you're like that sleep deprived and you're working all day. You're just like I you guys probably know what I'm talking about, but when you like look left and right quickly, and like it feels like your vision shaky, like it's fucked. I hate it. And on top of that, my body betrayed me. And then I got to sleep, and then yeah, the next day I still felt like kind of shit because you never fully recover from something like that right away. But I was just so happy to get some sleep. But then I'm like, I want to get into this more healthy mood and start eating better and, change my life a little bit more because I'm getting a lot of exercise lately. I've been, disc golfing like a fucking champion. I got my Google Fit thing that I set to 10,000. 10,000 steps is my goal for a day. Uh, and I rarely make that unless I go disc golfing, but I have been going a lot. So I do make it a lot, which is nice. And so I want to kind of add the diet into that so I can hopefully lose some of this fat fucking chub. Because I'm getting a little roly poly. And during the winter, it gets the worst because it's just very hard to. For me, okay, like I can be a treadmill guy. I don't have a treadmill though. And I just don't want to pay for a gym membership. I'm not a gym guy. I don't know. I'm just not a gym guy. I I fucking hate the gym culture. I hate like everything about the gym. Essentially, it's kind of funny because like I remember back in the day I went to the gym and like you just I I would run the treadmill essentially. I did some cardio and that's it during the winter. And like there's just like a bunch of dick bags in there and they're just like they're so into themselves and it's just like I can't do it. I just and bless them for loving their body, bless them for having a healthy body. Nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's good to hit the gym. And at some point I probably will. Ugh. Sorry, I had to ugh. Had a little phlegm there. That was weird. But and at some point I probably will get into, weightlifting and stuff like that to do better. But I just yeah, part of it for me is just I'm way too self-aware and I would be in my head I would be just making fun of everybody around me. And not because they're, getting in shape because that's good, but just like the people that are constantly you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that goes to the gym, don't fucking even try to act like I'm making that shit up. Where like you guys will go to the gym and it's like I remember this one time I was on a treadmill and I mean I'm not a champ. I set it speed 5 or something. That's my, 6 is going crazy for me. Speed 6 out of 10. Maybe it goes up 12. I don't remember. But, speed 5, 6, that's a good, you know, get some sweat going out of my fat. But when I was on a treadmill this one time, and it's like I was doing my little 10-minute interval of kind of going a little bit faster, and like I looked, over to my left. I got my headphones in, of course, and like I see this fucking guy, and he's sitting in the mirror. He's not doing anything. He doesn't have anything on him. He's just in the mirror, and he's got his phone, and he's taking pictures of himself. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then like I'm just continue my thing, and it's like I'm done my 10 minutes, so I go down to my cool down cycle where I'm going to a walking pace for a little while, and I fucking look over, and he's still goddamn taking pictures of himself. I'm like, holy hell, how into yourself can you be, son? So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on the gym community. I do think there's a lot of good people that go to the gym, and they're there's people that honestly just like the health benefits of it, and I think that's cool. And then there's the people that are just fucking dickbags that ruin it for everybody. I ruin it for the people that are honestly going there, to help better their lives or maintain their better lives. But which reminds me of a guy I saw when I was when I was working away. The reason the podcast is late this week, sorry, but while I was away, I was having a little sit down in the hot tub at the hotel, and this fucking couple comes in, and the couple. You guys have seen them before. It's that fucking couple that they're the power couple, right? They think they're the fucking alpha, right? And the guy comes in, and he's got his fucking beard, and he's got he's got this shirt on that says it's a wife beater, and on the back of it says wolves not sheep, and I'm like, holy fuck, I really want to drown you in this hot tub, you piece of shit. But you could just tell, and then for her, you could tell she's like, her stink doesn't shit. Holy fuck, her shit doesn't stink, and she's just like too hot for everybody. Like, doesn't make eye contact with anybody there, and just like walks in like, oh, hello. Would you peasants move aside? I would like to use the facilities. But that gets me to the weirdest part of the story, which is they didn't even use the hot tub or the pool. They just literally came in there to sit down on these chairs. I'm like, go to your hotel room, bitch. What do you enjoy the ambiance of the fucking water slide running in the background, the bubble jet? Like, they just came in there, like, and I was there for another probably 40 minutes till I ended up leaving because I was too hot. And they were still there. They just went, I don't know, I guess some people just sit by the pool. That's cool, but this whole time, like, I kind of because I'm a listener. I like listening to people. I'm an eavesdropper. I'm a CIA plant. But I always eavesdrop on people. Just it's like an unconscious habit. I hear things and I just listen. And like he's got this kombucha bottle. I could tell it's a kombucha bottle. And I could tell the only reason he's drinking that fucking kombucha is because it's kombucha. And he like, look at how cool I am. I'm drinking fucking kombucha, bro. And like he's just like reading the label. He's like, oh yes, this does have enough carbs. Yeah. Yeah, see, I told you it was low carb. And then she's like, babe, yeah, well, that's not what I meant. I meant, like, it's broken down sugar. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. They're, like, trying to talk about how the kombucha's made. And I know what they're doing. Because what they're doing is they're trying to let everybody know at the pool that they drink kombucha without telling everybody they drink kombucha. It's like, good Lord. I'm like, you guys are cringy as fuck. But seriously, though, the only thing I regret is that I didn't drown them both in the fucking pool. Because, Jesus. And again, you guys know those couples. There's always going to be those couples that just get under your fucking skin. And, ugh, that was one of them. And to me, they look like some of those weird fucking couples you find at the gym and stuff. Anyways, how did I get on that? Yeah. So, anyways, I was down there, and that's kind of funny. But now I'm like having residual pain, and oh yeah, eating healthy. That's what it was. I was saying eating healthy. I've been trying to eat healthy. So, at the restaurant there, I didn't order. They have a fantastic restaurant in the at this hotel that I was staying at. So I've eaten there quite a few times because I've been at the hotel a few times. The waitress actually remembered me. She's like, "Hey, I thought I knew you." I'm like, "I know I'm far away from home, but I've been here enough. You remember me." So we, yeah, I to be healthy, all I did was order a salad. I ordered some starter wings, salt and pepper, nothing too serious. Very low carb. I think carb free technically because just salt and pepper. So the sauce there'd be no sauce or anything. So, and then I had a nice Caesar salad. Very low carb, very nice and healthy. And I'm like, this is gonna be the fucking start of my healthy eating. And then I had my salad, and then I started getting nauseous at the table. I'm like, oh, good lord, what the hell? And so I paid my bill quickly, and then I ran upstairs, and then I fucking puked up that salad in the toilet in the hotel room, and I'm like, what the hell was that about? I'm like, is my body rejecting the healthy foods? But I don't know. I if it persists, I might have to see a doctor or something. I don't know what's going on, but even today, like I first thing this morning, I drank some water, and like literally felt nauseous. I'm like, that's not good. But then I have heard that water can make you nauseous, uh, if you're hungry or if your body's hungry, because it's seeking nutrients, and there's no nutrients in water. It's purely hydration, so it can make you feel nauseous. So it could have been that because I didn't eat anything after that salad, and that salad mostly got puked up. So I did not, obviously my body is probably hungry for nutrients. So, and then I drank a shit ton of water on the way home today. So I don't know. I, I think I'm fine. I think just maybe maybe just eating like from puking before when I was sick, when I had that food poisoning or whatever. I think that just kind of made maybe my stomach hurts or something. I don't know. But if I keep vomiting, obviously I should go to the doctor and see. I'm such a fucking I hate it. I hate this so much about me is that I'm such a crazy hypochondriac and stuff that I always have to look up things. I always have to look up things. I'm like, am I dying? And it's like, well, if you're throwing up, it's like it could be that you're hungry. That's what it said first. Could be if you have an empty stomach, could be hungry. That could make you feel nauseous. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's like sometimes if you're super just hungry in general, it could happen. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then it's like, and then like the third option down is like, or your stomach could be eating itself alive from the inside, or you could have stomach ulcers. So I'm like, oh, good. So it's like it's either like just have a good old meal, or it's like you could be melting from the inside. It's like good, good. And my brain always, your brain's never like, yeah, you're just hungry. No, my brain's like, I'm pretty sure our stomach is melting. So just saying. And they've done placebo studies, right? Like placebo totally works. And people underestimate psychology too. Like psychology actually affects, like there was that one guy, I can't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was now. I think it was poison. It might have been poison or something like that. But there was a guy that he, I can't remember, but he was in a placebo controlled study, and he was in the control group, right? So he was getting placebos, but he had convinced himself psychologically that he was actually sick, or that the medication was making him sick, And it actually made him sick, thinking he was sick. And then as soon as he was literally getting sick, and like his heart, like he almost had a heart attack or something, I believe. His heart rate was racing, and then he got to the doctor and they're like, "You're in the placebo group, bro." And then instantly he got better. He showed no signs of like heart attack or stroke or anything. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a heart attack or something he was having. But it's wild. It it kind of blows my mind how much our mind can affect our health without us even knowing it. It's kind of fucking scary. And I think that happens to me a lot because that's just how I am. I'm always very you ask anybody. I'm I'm weird because I'm not like a germaphobe, but I'm a germaphobe. I'm like it's so weird. I like my hands to be clean and I'm always washing them. And I don't like them to be like dirty, but I'm not like don't touch me. I'm not Howie Mandeling it. It's a very strange kind of affliction I have where I just like things to be clean, neat, and tidy. But I don't like. I'm not scared to touch people. I'm not scared to hug people. I'm not scared to like do any. I'm not scared to go outside. Any of that kind of stuff. Um, it's just a thing with my hands. I just like. I mean, and my body in general too. I do like to be clean, but like, especially my hands. Like if I could never be like one of those mechanics that has like fucking like even my brother. He works on tires all day, and his hands are just fucking black, and they're black. He could wash them with Gojo. He could wash them. He could wash them for 24 hours straight, probably, and they'll still be black. Like, and he just eats like that, and I'm like, ugh, gross. But it's just like it's his hands. His hands are stained. But like that would fucking annoy me. But like even like there's a like rust is the worst for me because rust will stain your hands and you're fine, but it's weird. So anytime I deal with something rusty, I have to wear gloves because it weirds me out. I'm weird. You guys know this. I'm fucked in the head. But anyways, moving on. So hopefully you'll figure it out next week. Hopefully I'm fine. Um, hopefully I don't have some sort of a stomach disease or I'm melting from the inside. And the only other affliction I'm having right now is my left thigh is it's numb on the side. And I don't know what exactly that is, but last time I was in Calgary at the hotel, I was playing Mega Man 11 on the toilet in the bathroom on my Switch. And I was getting really into the level, because that's a hard game. So I was leaning, you hunch over, you lean on your legs, and you know. So I think what happened is because when I actually ended up moving a little bit, I like when you hit your funny bone and it feels fucked up, like weird, like ow, like it's like ow, but it doesn't really like hurt. It just feels fucked. I kind of felt like something like that on my like left leg, as if maybe I was pinching off something. So my theory is that what that was, because that's when I started to notice it was after that trip, was that my leg was numb. So I think like not the whole leg, like it's not crazy, but it's literally just the very side muscle right in the middle, and it hasn't spread or anything. So, I know it's not diabetes, or I mean, I don't know that it's not diabetes, but I'm assuming it's not diabetes or stroke or anything like that, because well, that's normally your whole body, the whole side goes numb, and this did happen on the toilet, like this weird feeling I got. And it was right after that I started noticing it being numb. So I think I just pinched the nerve, to be honest. And after looking it up online, it's pretty common. And it can be, yeah, like some people have said it could be the diabetes thing, but it'll start spreading out throughout the whole body. So, but I'm fucking hypochondriac crazy. So I'm always thinking that's what it is, but it hasn't moved. And that thing did happen when I was playing Switch on the toilet. So, I think I just pinched the nerve, and it just needs rest and time to heal itself. So, but it has been like a couple weeks now, so I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's getting better, and then sometimes it's like no, it's still numb. But I'm like, I don't know. So maybe I'll just go to the doctor at some point and see what he says. It's just I again, as crazy as I am, I don't like to go to the doctor because I don't like to wait. I fucking hate waiting, and I hate waiting more when I find out it's for nothing. Like when I wait there, it's like, hey, you know, you wait for like 3 hours, 4 hours in emergency. Yeah, any Americans listening? Yeah, we have free healthcare up in Canada, but guess what? You gotta fucking wait for it. And also, some people, some people misconstrue this. Free healthcare doesn't mean free everything, by the way. Free healthcare just means you can see a doctor for free, which should be free everywhere, but whatever. And I think there's like paid hospital rooms and in certain cases, and then obviously the child thing, if like it's free to have a baby, which it fucking blows my mind that America you have to pay to have a child, and it's a lot of money, but whatever. That's a topic for another day. But like everything's not free. Like I can't go to my I can't go like get a prescription filled out and be like, yeah, it's free. And like I've had some conversations with people, and they're from America, and they seem to think that, and I'm like, no. It is not like that. We still have to pay for a lot of shit, and it still costs money for like cancer treatments and everything pretty much. So yeah, it's a little bit better than America just by a little bit. And insurance helps up here for those costs, just as it does in America. But the whole free part of it is not as good as people think. And it also, again, it adds up time because the checking out part is free. It's There's a huge wait time. So again, it's still better, but I just want to explain that not everything's free. But ugh, anyways, enough of my woes, and hopefully I'm not dying. But because who's gonna run this podcast since the houster abandoned me? Just kidding, he did. He's just been busy with work, so I've just been doing the pod solo. I'm like, he's only doing one every 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave him to let him do his thing, because it's you know, he's too big. Basically, that guy lately has been just waking up, going to work, and then going to sleep, and then rinse and repeat. So it's I don't want to bug him to do the podcast. He'll be a fucking zombie anyway. So like me last week. Oh, call back. Anyways, so we're getting to the meat and potatoes here. The meat and potatoes of the podcast here that I wanted to talk about was ding ding. You guys guessed it by the thumbnail. Wow, you guys are smart. Jurassic World Dominion came out, and it's a steaming pile of fucking shit. Just kidding, no. Okay, honestly, okay, I'm gonna look it up real quick. I just want to look at the reviews. I just want to look at what people gave it. Um, yeah, so 6 out of 10 on IMDb, 30% Rotten Tomatoes. What the hell? Common Sense Media? Who gives a fuck about what you say? But then as far as users go, so Rotten Tomatoes is 30%. Um, so that's critics, right? So critics hated it. Not very good. As far as Google users, 82% liked it. So people liked it. General audiences liked it for the most part. And so for me, again, I liked it. I think it's I I I have mixed feelings about it, honestly. I thought it was a good movie, but I thought it was kind of a mess in a way that it was obviously fan service. We all knew that was coming. We all knew it was going to be a fan service type movie because the old cast is returning, like all of them. Jeff Goldblum was in the last Jurassic Park at the end as like kind of a cameo as Ian Malcolm. You know that was cool, but and obviously Sam Neill was in Jurassic Park 3, which was awesome, and so they got the old cast to meet the new cast, and uh, again, we knew fan service was going to happen. We knew there was going to be lots of references, and that's good. I actually like that stuff. But believe it or not, even a guy like me thought this movie was a little much. There's a little too much fan service and just um, a lot of things that just didn't make sense, to be honest. Like, so at the spoiler alert also from this point forward for anybody who hasn't watched it. If you haven't watched Jurassic World Dominion, um, go watch it if you don't want to get spoiled. But anyways, so at the beginning, Claire is rescuing some fucking baby triceratops. And it's kind of showing her, her guilt for Jurassic World, and she's trying to be a friend to the dinosaurs and treat them like real living things, and that's sweet and all that. But come on, that there's a scene where they're trying to get away, and they're in what I would consider it's like a Ford E150, like it's a Ford Econoline van that they're in, that they're rescuing this Triceratops in, and they're driving away from bad guys in 4x4 trucks in a muddy field, and Claire is driving straight in this van, which is not four-wheel drive. That van is not four-wheel drive. Not a fucking chance it's four-wheel drive. And these guys are all in like off-road type trucks. Like literally trucks with roll cages and shit like that. They might have been Jeeps. I don't even fully remember, but they were off-road type vehicles. And they're like driving through and they're spinning out on the road and they're spinning out in the mud that they're driving through, and they just can't keep up with her in this Econoline that's driving, perfect, driving straight. And then she drives it through all these adult Triceratopses. Is that how you say it, or is it Tricerati? Triceratol? I don't know. Triceratopses? Who knows? Dinosauruses? Or the gay dinosaur, Dinosaurus. Oh! Hey, I like that one. That's a good one. But anyways, she's driving through, and again, this is me just being a nitpicker. But okay, like so the guys in the 4x4 vehicles are spinning out, going crazy everywhere. Can't shoot them, can't do anything. They're spinning out so much. Meanwhile, this Ford Econoline's just holding tried and true and then driving through these adult Triceratops. Just no problem. So that was kind of stupid. But and then there's this whole fucking. I'm gonna kind of bounce around the movie a little bit, but if you've watched it, you'll get where I'm coming from. Uh, but there's like the guy from Detective Pikachu. Um, he becomes uh he works with her at the beginning, and then after that he's like, I got a real job, and he's like, I can't do this anymore, and they're like, okay, cool, and then he's just spoiler alert, he's at the CIA randomly. I'm like, oh, that was your real job? Oh, okay, and we'll go back to that in a minute, but meanwhile, the main problem with this movie, the main um issue. There's two main issues. The main issue that gets the old cast running is these locusts. So there's locusts, which is an extinct. It's locusts are fucking giant grasshoppers. That's what they are. Okay, everybody's like, locusts are crazy Egyptian bugs and they're a plague. Yes, yes, that's all true. But for layman's terms, they're giant grasshoppers. That's what they are. They eat crops. They're hops weevil, all right. But anyway, they so there's these locusts that are back, and they Doctor Laura Dern is returning as Ellie Sattler, and she goes to this Mexican farm, and she's like, "This is where the locusts were," and she's got her scientist kids to go out and put whatever the fuck they're putting out, some science equipment, and then she gets on top of a tractor and she sees this bright green field that wasn't eaten by the locusts, and she's like, "Is that your land over there?" And then the farmer's like, "No, we're private. Those guys use biocid seed." And it's like, it's so fucking obvious. The plot of this movie, this was one of my major problems with it, is that the plot of this movie that gets it going is that there's these locusts eating the food supply. They're eating all the crops, but the only crops that they're not eating is the crops that were made by this biocid company, which is like the new InGen. They're the new bad guys, right? Because it's like, oh, so it's just so stupid to me, because it's like, oh, so let me get this straight. There's a horde of genetically modified locusts eating up the food supply in the world, but they're not eating the crops from the company that is genetically modifying animals. They're not eating those crops. Huh. I wonder who's behind this all. Like, it's just such a fucking obvious. It's so, like, a child could figure out, okay, so Biocid's the bad guy. They obviously made the locusts so that people had to buy Biocid seed so they control the food supply. Otherwise, they would get eaten by these fucking locusts. So it was just, the plot was too, it was too obvious for me. So I just thought that was fucking stupid. And because there's no mystery at that point, you know? And then, of course, that gets her to get, Dr. Grant on board. And then, and lo and behold, who is an employee at Biosyn for some fucking reason? They don't even explain it. But I guess he's hired on at the Biosyn Island, Jeff Goldblum's character, which is Ian Malcolm. Because he's basically a motivational speaker there, because he's a chaotician, right? Like, he talks about chaos theory. That was always his thing. So, he's over there. I guess his job is to be a speaker to the people there. I don't get it. I don't get why he's an employee. I could see it as him being like a guest speaker that came there once or twice or something and spoke. That would make sense. But in this plot line, he's an actual employee of Biosyn. And I guess his job is to talk to people. Whatever. But that's their in, right? That's their in to get Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler to the island where the bad guys are. Because they gotta figure out if they can find a locust sample that'll match the locust sample in this that ate these crops up. Even though you don't need any kind of education to know that the Biosyn's definitely behind this. But either way, I guess they need proof. So they went there. And then Biosyn is also after the little girl that Owen and Claire are looking after. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters. So the little girl that they're looking after, the clone, right? Spoiler alert, she's not a clone. But the clone they're after, the bad guys are after her for her, her genetic whatever. They want to study her. So, of course she gets kidnapped and she gets taken away. But then Blue, the raptor, because we got to throw the raptor in here somewhere, her child also gets captured by the hunters because she reproduced asexually. So they want to know how she did that. So, yeah. They just had, they had, as soon as as soon as they showed off that Blue had a offspring, that immediately on the screen I said that raptor's gonna get kidnapped by the bad guys, and with the little girl, they're both gonna get kidnapped, and I was fucking right. They both got kidnapped. So I guess my biggest problem with the movie is that I think I just thought the plot was too obvious, and there's too many like there was a lot. You'd have to sit down and watch it. I don't really want to kind of spoil it all, but there was a lot of like I said references to the um there was a lot of references to like just the old Jurassic Parks and just random shit like Dr. Grant not wanting to leave his hat behind. In the they're in the mines of the island, and they finally added Dimetrodons to the movies, which I was happy about. That's one thing I really liked was the Dimetrodons, which are those they crawled around on four legs and they have like the spine ridge on their back. I always thought those dinosaurs were cool, but they were never really in a Jurassic Park, so they finally got some screen time in this movie, which was cool. But they, yeah, like there's a scene where they encounter them in the mines, and it's almost like a jump scare. And then Alan drops his hat, and then she's like, Ellie's like, Ellie's like, don't. Ellie's like, forget about the hat, and of course he has to grab it. It's like, get it, because he always takes his hat, and then and like I said, every scene um, there's the scene where they're uh, fuck, where was I going? I have such bad memories sometimes. I've watched this movie twice actually. I watched it with friends and I watched it uh with my family because I wanted to they both want to see it and I wanted to get a good um I want to get more of an understanding because I knew it was going to be a movie that the second time around I would have picked out some things too. But, but yeah, there's also the scene where the guy, like the evil guy, like main villain, his death is a direct reference to Nedry's death from uh from Jurassic Park, the original, like the fat guy, Nedry, because he gets, he has the spray can, the shaving cream where he has the DNA, the dinosaur embryos in it, and he's trying to sneak away, and he crashes his jeep, and blah blah blah. Well, and he gets killed by the Dilophosaurus, who sprays the acid gunk on his face. Well, this guy who's on this island in a display case, he randomly has the shaving cream from the first Jurassic Park. Like he had like it's all broke. It's like weather worn, right? So it's supposed to be the same one from the first Jurassic Park, right? But that makes no fucking sense. Because how did he get it? How did he get it? This random guy from Biosyn. He went back to Isla Sorna, or whatever. I think that was the first island's name. There's Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna, but like you're telling me, he went back there and he went to exactly where Nedry died, and he rooted around and found that spray can randomly. Like fuck off! I'm not buying that for a minute. Again, fan service. Oh, it's a reference. It's so cool, but it makes no fucking sense. I'm sorry, but that makes no sense. And then, yeah, sure as shit, at the end of the movie, he gets stuck in this tunnel, the main villain, and he's packing up to get out of there because he's kind of been found out. So he's packing up his bags. He's got his briefcase. For some stupid reason, he takes the spray can with him. I think he literally just took it for, and he doesn't. It's not ever. I mean, he might, but it's not ever explained that he has dinosaur embryos or anything in it. I mean, why would he? That doesn't make any sense. But like, for some reason, he takes that spray can, and he goes into this little tunnel thing, and then of course, the power goes out because they have to divert the power, and which the power diversion thing is a whole another reference to the first Jurassic Park. It's literally the scene where Ellie has to go turn the power on. Only in that one, she gets attacked by raptors and chased by raptors, and she finds Samuel L. Jackson's arm. In this one, it's the two girls, and they get attacked by some of those locusts a little bit, but it's literally a reference. It's a reference to the scene from the first Jurassic Park. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. They divert the power because they need more power to get the air defense system on. So of course that stops this guy's escape plan. It stops his little. He's in like a little underground tunnel. It's like a little cart that. It's like an escape tunnel, metro. It's like a metro train, essentially. But the power goes out, so he gets off it, and of course there's steam everywhere, and it's spooky. And then of course there's a Dilophosaurus in the tunnel with him. So he's like, oh! So he runs back to his train, and then just before he gets in the train, he kind of trips and he drops the spray can, which is again, like I said, it's literally a reference to Nedry, because before Nedry dies, he drops the he drops the can of shaving cream. Ugh. He drops the can of shaving cream. Sorry, I just had to remove my socks. My feet are fucking sweating. Yeah, he drops the can of shaving cream, and then he gets killed by the Dilophosaur. And then again, same thing happens to this guy, except for he really gets fucked up, because I think there's 2 or 3 Dilophosaurus that get into his little train with him. I think it's just 2, but yeah, they spray the fuck out of him, and it was kind of cool to see that. But again, like I said, it's definitely a reference to Nedry, like, and I think it was cool. It was a unique way, because they haven't used the Dilophosaurs since Jurassic Park, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's just, I don't know. The whole spray can thing was just too much. I'm like, it's again cool reference, and I like references like that, but literally makes no sense. How would he have that? Doesn't make any sense. And then yeah, like I said, the power scene with Claire and Ellie, that was a total reference to the power scene from the first Jurassic Park, and it was just, I don't know, it was a lot of fan service, and then the plot to me was just too obvious. But was it a fun movie? Oh, okay, yeah, yes, it was a fun movie to answer that. But there's another one where Jeff Goldblum's going to save them in a jeep, and then he picks them up out of the tunnels once they get out, and then uh he ends up crashing the jeep essentially. I mean, it's not a jeep. I think it's a Mercedes Benz GL40 or whatever the hell they're called. One of their one of the Mercedes SUVs. But yeah, he kind of high centers it on a mini cliff of sorts, and then it's a whole scene where they're like, "Don't move," and they're talking about shifting their body weight, and I'm like, okay, again another reference to the Jeep scene from the first Jurassic Park, where they gotta shift their weight, otherwise it's gonna fall off the edge. So it's just there's so many scenes that were like just like blatant rip-offs of other scenes, and uh yeah, I just wasn't a I wasn't a I was a fan of it to a degree, but it was just I think they laid it on a little bit too heavy. uh and then the other stupid scene was, so the big carnivore, the big crazy dinosaur in this one is it's called Giganotosaurus, which I don't know if that's even a real. I'm gonna look that up. Is Giganot Gig Giganotosaurus real? Okay, Giganotosaurus is one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs. It roamed modern-day Argentina during the late Cretaceous. Okay. Oh, okay. For a long time, they thought Tyrannosaurus Rex was the king of the dinosaurs. But this is actually the largest carnivore. So this is a more recent discovery, which is kind of interesting that they, that's kind of cool that they would add that, right? Like it's like a more recent discovery, and it actually looks like the skeleton. I'm just googling it now. The way it looks in Dominion kind of looks like the actual skeletons they found. So that was kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But either way, that's the new big bad dinosaur. But there's this really stupid scene where they're and there's another reference coming up, don't worry. But there's a really stupid scene where where it comes at them after they roll the Jeep. So after they roll that Jeep during that scene, they meet up with the old cast and the new cast meet up. And the old cast has their daughter, like the clone girl, and it's kind of like the heroes unite, right? So it's like where everybody comes together. But then, of course, the big bad guy has to come in, and it's the Giganotosaurus. He appears, and it's like an oh shit moment. But there's this really weird scene where they're kind of in RPG terms, they're kiting it around the Jeep, but if you look at it, it can obviously see them, but it's not attacking, and then it kind of casually walks around the Jeep, and then they hide again, and it just makes no sense to I didn't get it. It's just I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this dinosaur's not attacking? It's just following them around. And it just I don't know, that scene, it was just a weird scene to me. Again, and it almost seemed like a reference to the kids getting attacked by the T-Rex in the Jeep in the first one. Well, sorry, was it? I always say Jeep because everybody talks about Jurassic Park Jeeps, but it wasn't even a Jeep. That was like that. The part for that one was. Hold on, I'll look it up. What were the great dress? I think they were Chevys. Yeah, the tour vehicle. Okay, the tour vehicle looks like a Ford. Uh, or is that a Grand Cherokee? No, it's not. Okay, hold on. What was the Jurassic Park um tour vehicle? Because everybody remembers the Jeep, but nobody remembers like the one that everybody almost remembers is the tour vehicle, which is the green one. It might have actually been a no name car that they just painted up for the park, like like quote unquote. Because I'm not sure, but I think it's oh yeah okay. Somebody has one here. It's a Ford Explorer. That's what I thought it looked. Well, maybe not, but it looks close. That's what it looks closest to me. But either way, that's the one everybody. That's the scene I'm talking about where the kids are getting crushed. Kind of remind me of that. Whereas it's funny because yeah, everybody says the Jurassic Park Jeep, but like the most iconic car is actually that green tour vehicle. But everybody that does a reference in real life, they always make the Jeep, which I think was actually that was the one that the guy took. That was the one that the guy took. He did take out Hammond in the Jeep, and they went out to the to see the dinosaurs in the Jeep. But I would say for me anyway, the most memorable vehicle from Jurassic Park, the first one, was the green tour vehicles. Mostly because that T-Rex scene scared the fuck out of me as a kid. But, anyways, back to Jurassic World Dominion. Um, yeah, they kite that dinosaur and they fuck around with it a little bit, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. But I'm like, yeah, this dinosaur's blind. It's not attacking. And then, of course, everybody wants to get into this tower for safety. And then, what does Jeff Goldblum do? But he lights a fucking he lights again another reference scene. He it's not a flare this time though. He lights some sort of a torch, I think. Oh no, it's a flaming. It's like a rod or a spear or something that's on fire, and I can't remember how he got it on fire, but he's waving it around exactly like he did in Jurassic Park, the original. And it's another reference scene, and then the Giganotosaurus goes for him, and then but instead of running away into the shitter and that guy getting killed in the shitter, which is an awesome scene, he just runs away from it, and then a little. Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't run away from it. Rather, he it roars at him, and he throws he throws the flaming spear thing in its mouth, and it sets its mouth on fire. So again, kind of a cool scene, but again, another reference scene. Ha ha. Like, it's like, oh my Jesus Christ. And then, yeah. Other than that, I think there's one other scene that bothered me a little bit, but um, oh yeah, okay. So the last scene that really bugged me was at the very end that there was So it ends cliched. It ends exactly like Jurassic World, with a big showdown with the T Rex, and it's the same fucking thing as Jurassic World, where literally the T Rex dies, but it doesn't die. It secretly comes back to life, and then it teams up with this other dinosaur that's basically, I can't remember what kind of dinosaur it is, but it's actually an herbivore, but it's got very long claws, and it's kind of cool that the T Rex pushes the Giganotosaurus into this other dinosaur, and the other dinosaur impales it and kills it, and that's kind of the end. But like, it's another reference scene to Jurassic World, where it's like the big, the new scary dinosaur has to fight the T Rex plus, the other dinosaur that happened to be relevant in the movie, which in Jurassic World was the raptors. And then in this one, it was this weird dinosaur that was going after Claire at one point when she was alone, but um, but it's weird though because it's actually an herbivore. I'm pretty sure it's an herbivore, that dinosaur, and you can kind of tell by its mouth that it's not a carnivore, but whatever. It's a cool dinosaur the way it looks though, because it's got badass claws, and it fucking swats a deer for no reason. I'm like, it didn't eat the deer. It was eating berries and shit. And I just saw this deer and bitch slapped it with its claws. And I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? You're just an asshole. But either way, yeah. Now I'm gonna say the things that I liked about it, though. Um, Again, it is a fun movie, and if you like the other movies, you're gonna like this movie. And it's not that the references are bad, because I don't mind references. I am a huge reference guy. I do really like reference. Uh, I do like references to old material or old characters. It's cool. It's interesting. But this movie is just so fucking. The plot is just so bad and so obvious. And then the references are so heavy that's almost like they phoned it in. And it fucking sucks because everybody's performance was actually really good in this movie. Like, I like the old cast coming back. I thought they were good. And Chris Pratt's a fucking gem. He's always good. Like, they did a good job, all of them, but it's just, yeah, I think they just got a little bit too heavy handed with the references, and yeah, some of them just didn't make any sense, and it was really cliche to a degree. But honestly, I would recommend going and seeing it uh just for there is there's this one scene where they go into like it's a black market dinosaur underworld dealing thing. I don't know. The black market dinosaur trade anyway. So it's like this underground market, and I think they're in Malta. Um, I believe, yeah. But oh fuck, okay, that's what I was gonna say too. I forgot. Um, the Detective Pikachu guy, because he becomes CIA, right? That was his whole real job that he talked about at the beginning. Is he's in the CIA, and that's how they get the tip that the people who kidnapped their daughter and this raptor were going to make a deal in Malta at this dinosaur thing, and they're like, we got some people, we got some agents on the field. It's like you may know some of these people because they got recruited to the CIA, and it's like the goofy guy from Let's Be Cops. I can't remember his name. Um, and then here, hold on, I'm gonna look it up here. Uh, oh my god, Vincent D'Onofrio. I forgot. Yeah, he was the bad guy in the first one. Yeah, it's where the fuck is he? But yeah, it's Lauren Lapkus, um, the actress. She played Vivian, and then yeah, Jake Johnson, which was Laurie, and then Barry, which was played by Omar Sy. Those three, they all were in the first Jurassic World, and they came back in this one, but they were all recruited by the CIA. And why? Be, because they were at Jurassic World. Because they know Jurassic Park. They know the dinosaurs, man. Like what the fuck? Just that pissed me off when I saw that. Like they just wanted a reason to make a reference to like Barry, because they don't interact with Laurie or Vivian, those characters, but Barry, the guy played by Omar Sy, who's an awesome actor. I love that guy. But you know, he's gonna be the agent that they meet up with. But like all three of those people got drafted into the CIA because they worked at Jurassic World and they knew about dinosaurs. Like that. I mean, I don't work for the CIA. I mean, I don't work for the CIA. But like, if I did, I'd be like, I don't think the, I don't think the, I don't think what gets you hired at the CIA is knowing about dinosaurs and having worked at Jurassic World. That doesn't make any fucking sense. It was just a way to again make references to the old cast. It's like holy fuck. But Barry actually is in the movie, um, and that's the guy that meet down there. That's the guy that they meet down in Malta for the CIA. But I just thought it was so fucking stupid that all those people got. They're like, oh, we hired a bunch of them in the CIA. It's like, oh my god, that's so fucking stupid and makes no sense. But, anyways, I digress. The reason you need to watch this movie though is because when they go that scene and he meets up with Barry, they go to the black market there of dinosaurs, and there's a dinosaur fighting ring, and a bunch of shit happens. I'm not gonna really give it away, but basically, this one bad guy uh, ends up landing in a dinosaur fighting pit, and there's one. It's like a mini Carnotaur, and it's like biting his arm off. And then on the other side, there's like this little fucking goblin dinosaur, and it's so fucking weird looking and cute that it's like it's ugly. It's so ugly, it's cute. And I'm like, I want to know what kind of dinosaur that is. I'm like, I want them to make like plushies and like a figure of this dinosaur because I would buy it in a heartbeat. It's so fucking cool. It's like I call it the goblin dinosaur. Uh, I don't know what it is though. Uh, I'm gonna look it up here. Maybe Goblin Dinosaur will show up. No, it didn't show up under Goblin Dinosaur. Oh, but Therizsaurus. Theriz Therizinosaurus. That's the one with the long claws. I'm gonna have to figure out what that is though. Which dinosaur it is. It's fucking so cool, man. It's just like when you watch it, you'll laugh because there's literally this little. It's this fucking stupid little um I don't know, it just looks like a goblin. It's weird. It's a weird looking little dinosaur. And this bad guy is getting his arm bitten off by a mini like Carnotaur. And meanwhile this this little miniature goblin dinosaur is just fucking up his sleeve, like like just inconveniencing him just a little bit. It's really funny. And it's like honestly it made the movie go from like a 6 for me to like a 10. That scene was perfect. I love that little dinosaur, and I really I want the animatronic or whatever they used. I want an animatronic of it so I could just have that as a pet. That thing was fucking cool. But I've been rambling too long about Jurassic World Dominion. Bottom line is, uh, it's good, but get ready for, like I said, heavy references, and and that's just me off the cuff picking up a bunch of references, and there's a lot more too. Like I didn't want to really give them all away. There's other ones that I noticed too, like subtle ones, like the T-Rex coming into frame, and there's a water there's a water sprinkler design, and his head goes behind it, and it looks exactly like the Jurassic Park logo, and it's like, oh, like just and that's kind of a cooler, more subtle reference, but again, like I said, this is just me off the cuff what I remember, and then also, what I remember from the old movies, because I've watched them somewhat recently, but not like not like yesterday, so I don't know, I would recommend going and seeing it. It's not a bad movie. I don't. There's a lot of people that said it was fucking horrendous, and they said it was the worst movie ever. I certainly don't think that. I just don't think it's. I just think it's very derivative and relies very heavily on references and nostalgia sake for the most part, and yeah, the plot was just dog shit. The fucking plot. It was just such a simple plot. The whole like, oh god, I can't get over that. I just can't get over the seed part. It's like, is that your land? No, we're private. They use biosyn seed. Just even the way she says it, they use biosyn seed. It's like, oh. Everybody knows what's going on now. Like, there's no mystery. It's so stupid. Ah, fuck. But either way, I think you'll get some enjoyment anyway. Especially if you were a fan of the old ones. So, I gotta go get a drink of water. I've been rambling on too long here. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to follow the podcast on all social media. Links are in the description, as usual. And you can catch me eventually, sometime, I'm sure, at twitch.tv/codemanliness. I'm sure I'll be on there at some point in my life. I gotta get on that. Especially because I got my new 4K camera. But I need to get an AC adapter so I can actually use it as a webcam. Because, the battery only lasts for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes in 4K. So that would be very good. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Or listening, I guess, in this case. Even if you're on YouTube, there's just a still image. Maybe someday I'll incorporate cameras. You never know. It's got to be in the budget, though. There's a high budget production I got going on here. But thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out.